Avocado prices are skyrocketing at the local grocery store. A lot of us who live in Zone 9 and above want to grow our own avocados, but we get frustrated when we plant a otherwise healthy avocado tree and the darn thing dies. We're going to take a look at a tip that I have, but first, if you like growing tropical fruit trees in marginal climates, if you love avocados, make sure to hit that like, the subscribe button, the notification bell, and if you have any comments or questions, leave them in the comment section below. I do my best to get back to everybody with their comments and questions. So let's take a look at a tip that I have growing avocados. I don't know how many times I've heard this story. A beginner grower grabs a nice looking avocado tree from the big box store and a bag of potting soil. The intention is repotting the avocado tree in a bigger pot, growing it for a couple years until it gets large enough, and then they plant it out. But they never make it. It seems after about a year, the avocado tree dies and they're scratching their head. Why is that? Well, part of it has to do with the type of soil that the avocado tree is planted in at the nursery, and part of it is the type of potting soil they use when repotting it. We're going to take a look at a experiment I did, and maybe it'll help you understand what I mean. So let's take a look at one of the popular brands of potting soil. I love this stuff for short-term use, and that is this Miracle Grow Moisture Control potting mix. It's really good. But when you're planting avocado trees, rapidly growing avocado trees, it seems like it may last 6, 8, 9 months. If you leave it over, if you plant something in the spring and you wait until the following spring to replant, by then it seems like the tree is already starting to suffer. So you want to replant trees every 6 months in it. If you're going to use this, it should be in a pot no more than 6 months before you replant to keep the soil fresh. And that's one of the things that the big box stores really like, you buying more potting soil and constantly replanting. Now, if you use a primarily mineral-based soil, that is sand and perlite and the like, then the soil will last a lot longer. Now I make my own potting soil for long-term growing in pots, and that is usually it's approximately 1/3 sand, 1/3 perlite, and 1/3 peat moss. Now that peat moss does break down, but it takes a while, and that usually lasts about 2 years in a pot. Now I did this experiment about 2 years ago, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. This plant right here, an avocado tree, I planted 2 years ago in a 5-gallon container using my homemade potting soil. And as you can see, the leaves are beautiful. The tree is looking very good for a 2-year-old avocado tree. Now let's take a look at what I planted in the big box store-bought potting soil. It's went through its second winter and it is really looking bad. The soil's just not doing good and probably starting to get root rot. Most people would see this and say, oh, it needs to be fertilized. Well, you add fertilizer, you're just going to increase the problem. Put too much water on it, it's going to increase the problem. So, as you can see, in my opinion, and I'm not a scientist or a botanist or anything, but in my opinion, it's better to use mineral-based, homemade potting soil. And I'll do a video on my favorite avocado potting soil that I make. I'll do a video coming up. But there we go. There's the proof is in the pudding. Now, scientifically, maybe not the greatest experiment in the world. I only did one set of trees, but you get the hint. If you like this type of video, go ahead and hit that like, the subscribe button, the notification bell. Any comments or questions, leave them in the comment section below. You have a wonderful day.